the first thing to say is all of the stuff around building safety is absolutely welcome and absolutely vital. And of course, it costs more to have those safety measures properly dealt with. Of course, it costs more to have that regulation of that process imposed. But it's not imposed in the way we see it. We welcome it. It's absolutely vital. And all of those issues around standards and quality is absolutely what we need to be promoting. For me, it's looking from the point of view of the customer, the end user. So our residents need to feel that their homes are absolutely safe, that it's a healthy environment for them to live in, to bring their children up in, and so on. And those mistakes of the past demonstrate, that hasn't always been the case, particularly in some of the social housing that was developed, in the 60s and 70s. We need this next generation of new council homes that we're all engaged in building need to set a completely new standard of quality. So there's that to start with. The question was really about the cost pressure, I think, and the cost pressure is absolutely, in this moment, it's the number one issue in this industry. We're grappling with it, we're struggling with it. So Redbridge had 3 schemes last year that were out to tender. The tenders came in, and there was a discussion, and they decided not to go ahead. So this is before I'd arrived. They decided not to go ahead and award those contracts because of the pricing. So they've been put back out to tender, slightly different approach, but no dumbing down of quality or any of that, but a different procurement approach, really seeking to get a different response from different players in the market.
How does the approach differ, Mark? Is that a sort of risk-sharing exercise?
No, it's not like that. I mean, it's much more, as I say, about finding those contractors who are, if you like, perfectly sized, horses for courses. That's the kind of thinking. But we're wanting to find contractors who will deliver what we're wanting comfortably. But frankly, some of these schemes are smaller schemes, and the larger constructors are probably holding some additional costs that some of the smaller ones aren't, which for a smaller scheme, those overhead costs, do make a difference. It's a lot of it's to do with scale, I think. But anyway, I'm not going to sit here and say that we've cracked the nut, because we haven't had the next round of prices in yet. So you need to come back to me in about 2 months' time, and either I'll be beaming or the opposite. But we're in the midst of that process, and I mean it's really difficult times. But we believe that there are ways of working with the marketplace to get the prices that work for both sides, and we can continue delivering. But yeah, as it stands, we've got some schemes on site. We've got some schemes we deliberately didn't progress, and we're waiting for a new price to come in.
Okay, Mark, if it's okay, I'm gonna put 2 more challenges to you, and then I'm gonna ask you if there are any others that you're facing. First challenge, from the elections in May. Did the results of the election present in any way a sort of challenge to you in delivering your wish list?
No, not at all. I mean, in Redbridge, the Labour group gained seats. So if anything, there's more certainty, more stability. And from my point of view, I'm always attracted to working in a place where there's that level of political stability, because I want to get things done. I don't want to spend time negotiating and arguing. I just want to get on and deliver something. So that is the attraction, and I think that is a really solid base for delivering this programme.
Okay, and my final question on this section is around funding for social housing. How does the funding available to support the delivery of social housing represent a challenge to your programme?
So, I mean, I think at the moment, the relationship with the GLA in London, with local authorities delivering housing, is in a really good place. And, I think, of course, there are challenges. There's always challenges. This whole point about cost, we'll always go back and say, well, can we have a bit more grant because the prices are going up. So there is that difficult negotiation. But in terms of where things were 3-4 years ago and where things are now, councils have demonstrated that we can deliver. The GLA has put faith in councils, put money in, and the results are there to see. So yeah, I think it's still early days, but it's a maturing program. And I think someone like Redbridge, who's still at quite the early stages of developing its house building capacity and expertise, we've got a lot of confidence that the GLA are there to support us and to help us build that capacity. And we're talking to them about further sites, about adding to our pipeline of development. And yeah, I think that's going to continue going well.
Fantastic. And any other challenges that sort of spring into your mind?
I mean, the main one you already touched on, which is within an authority like Redbridge, it's not just about building the project management capacity, which is really important, but it's about having capacity in finance, legal, procurement, all the different parts of the council team that support making this kind of delivery work. I will just put a plug in. We are actually recruiting now for some project managers and senior project managers in our capital delivery team. So that's to do housing delivery and the other things I was talking about, leisure and so on. So yeah, anyone on the call who knows somebody, check it out, look out for our advert.
And that's a challenge in itself, isn't it? Recruitment is a tough task these days.
It is, it really is.
What makes you think you can get the right people?
Well, I mean, obviously having this platform is a big help, Toby, thank you. We have an exciting program. We, I believe, are a place that's worth coming to work because of the outlook of the team, as I've described it. It's exciting, it's ambitious, there's that political stability, there's a lot to deliver, there's a lot to get on with. But yeah, we're competing with other boroughs. There's a lot of need for really good project managers, experienced development staff, and as we all know, there's not enough to go around. It's a challenge.